Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chesterton's Jest, where we keep a critical eye on faith and culture, especially within the Catholic Church today. In an age where even church teachings seem to be shifting, we're here to explore and question the ideas and changes that challenge timeless truths. Through thought-provoking, often humorous perspectives, we aim to bring clarity to conversations others might avoid, holding fast to orthodoxy with the courage to question what feels off track. If you would like to join us as we dig deeper into the faith with reverence, wit, and a touch of Chestertonian insight, you can support this channel by gently pressing the like, share, and subscribe buttons in that order, and we thank you for your support. And now, without further ado, why monks? Because they saved the world, or at least Western civilization. Chapter 1. From Chaos to Order. When Rome fell in 476 AD, civilization itself seemed to unravel. The great roads crumbled, trade routes dissolved, and literacy became the privilege of a few. Historian Edward Gibbon described the fall as a time when barbarism and religion had extinguished the light of knowledge. Yet it was precisely religion, Catholic monasticism, that preserved and rekindled that light. While warlords battled for scraps of the empire, monks set about the work of preservation. They copied texts, cultivated lands, and laid the intellectual and spiritual foundation for a new era. St. Augustine, in The City of God, provided a philosophical blueprint for a civilization built on faith rather than fleeting imperial power. The Church became the stabilizing force as secular Rome collapsed, ensuring that knowledge and moral order survived. Chapter 2. The Silent Scribes of Civilization. Imagine a world where books were so rare and valuable that an entire monastery might spend years transcribing a single volume. This was the reality of post-Roman Europe, and it was Catholic monks who ensured that the light of knowledge never went out. From Ireland to Italy, monastic communities became the libraries of the medieval world. They preserved not only scripture, but also the works of Aristotle, Plato, Cicero, and countless others. Without the dedicated labor of these scribes, the philosophical and scientific foundations of Western civilization would have been lost. Saint Isidore of Seville's Etymologiae became the world's first encyclopedia, cataloguing essential knowledge in an era when books were scarce. Christopher Dawson, one of the foremost historians of Catholic culture, noted that the monastic movement saved the intellectual treasures of antiquity and kept alive the traditions of classical learning. Chapter 3. The Benedictine Blueprint. It was Saint Benedict who provided the framework for monasticism's civilizing influence. The Benedictine Rule, a balanced approach to work, prayer, and study, structured the lives of countless monks and transformed monasteries into centers of stability and productivity. Under this rule, monks not only prayed, but also farmed, taught, and healed. They introduced advanced agricultural techniques, developed self-sufficient communities, and provided charity to the poor. The Abbey of Monte Cassino, founded in 529 AD, became a model for monastic organization, blending spiritual devotion with innovation. As historian Jean Leclerc observed, the Benedictines created islands of order in a sea of chaos. Chapter 4. Monasteries as economic powerhouses. Far from being isolated outposts of prayer, monasteries played a critical role in rebuilding the economy. They developed new farming techniques, introduced crop rotation, and pioneered viticulture in Europe. The economic revival of the medieval period owes much to these centers of industry, which not only sustained themselves, but also provided for surrounding communities. Monks became blacksmiths, brewers, and scribes, forming the backbone of Europe's economic resurgence. The famed Cistercians perfected irrigation systems and harnessed water power for industrial milling. Their labour restored prosperity to a fractured continent and helped transform the feudal system into something resembling a functioning society. Chapter 5. The Birth of Universities and the Rise of Science. Contrary to the myth that the medieval church was anti-intellectual, monasteries laid the groundwork for Europe's great universities. Institutions like the University of Bologna, 1188, and the University of Paris, 1150, grew out of monastic schools dedicated to rigorous intellectual inquiry. The scholastic movement, led by thinkers like St. Thomas Aquinas, sought to harmonize faith and reason, paving the way for modern philosophy and science. It is no coincidence that many of the great early scientists were devout Catholics: Copernicus, Gregor Mendel, the father of genetics, and Roger Bacon, a pioneer of the scientific method. John Henry Newman, in The Idea of a University, defended the Catholic intellectual tradition, showing how faith and reason were never opposed but deeply intertwined. The Church saw the universe as orderly and rational, a reflection of its creator and therefore worthy of study. Chapter 6. Art, Architecture, and the Soul of Civilization. What would civilization be without beauty? The soaring spires of Gothic cathedrals, the intricate frescoes of Michelangelo, the harmonies of Gregorian chant, all were nurtured in the halls of monasteries. The Catholic Church understood that man does not live by bread alone, and so it nourished the soul with art and architecture that lifted the spirit toward heaven. Monastic communities preserved and advanced artistic techniques, from illuminated manuscripts to stained glass. The Gregorian chant, developed by Benedictine monks, shaped Western music for centuries. These artistic contributions didn't merely decorate the medieval world, they shaped its identity, ensuring that even in the darkest times, the light of beauty and faith endured. Chapter 7. The Moral Foundations of the West. Beyond their intellectual and economic contributions, monasteries helped establish the moral framework that undergirds Western civilization. Concepts we take for granted today, human dignity, charity, and the sanctity of life, are deeply rooted in Catholic teaching. The abolition of slavery, the development of hospitals, and the establishment of charitable institutions all trace their origins to monastic initiatives. The Hôtel Dieu in Paris, founded in 651 AD, was one of the first hospitals dedicated to the sick, regardless of wealth. Even modern secular values like human rights owe an unacknowledged debt to the Church's centuries-long advocacy for the dignity of the human person. Pope Paul III's Sublimus Dei, 1537, condemned the enslavement of indigenous peoples, a stark contrast to the widespread acceptance of slavery in other cultures. Chapter 8. A Civilization Worth Saving. When critics dismiss Catholicism as a relic of the past, they overlook the staggering truth. Without the Church, much of what we cherish in Western civilization wouldn't exist. The preservation of knowledge, the rise of science, the creation of beauty, and the establishment of moral order all find their roots in the Catholic tradition. The Church has died many times and risen again, because it follows a God who knows the way out of the grave. Time and again, it has been the lifeboat when civilization was sinking, the compass when humanity lost its way. And if history is any guide, it will continue to save civilization, not as a relic, but as a living force. So the next time someone tells you that religion has been a net negative for humanity, remind them of the monks who saved civilization. And if they still don't believe you, well, Perhaps it's time they cracked open a real history book. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video and share our passion for defending the true faith with a touch of humor, be sure to head over to chestertonsjest.com and check out our collection of bold, pro-Catholic graphic tees designed to spark conversation and inspire conviction. Whether you're looking to wear your faith proudly or share a laugh, we've got something for everyone. Visit us today and join the movement, because in times like these, it's more important than ever to stand firm in our beliefs with style and wit. As Chesterton once said, "A madman is not someone who has lost his reason. A madman is someone who has lost everything except his reason." So, let's keep our reason and our faith intact together. Thanks for listening. God bless you, and may the good Lord be praised.